From early days, my dad had me out hunting and fishing. That's what he did. That's what our family did. My mom was from a farming family down in South Georgia, in Colquitt, Georgia. And hunting was happenstance back then. It wasn't a lifestyle like it is now. They talk about when the sport bites you, it bit me whole, I guarantee you. And I loved it so much and enjoyed it so much. I said, I'm going in the outdoor business somehow. You know, when we first went in it, everybody was like, oh my God, you're gonna starve to death. You can't make a living in hunting. I just thought, we will show you, watch this. Everybody wanted to know, what was y'all's secret? How'd you do it? You know what we did? We outworked them. That's the secret to running a business. You outwork them. I'm gonna tell you, when you grow up with a dad that was World War II and had come from a country background, a farming background, you learn to fix stuff. There wasn't this day that everybody in the world of replacement now. It wasn't that way then. If you wanted something, you better redo it. You better fix it. You better know how to do something with it. My dad used to say, adequate wasn't a word in the dictionary. He said it either is or it isn't. And a lot of that grew from that, you know, hey, let's improve it. And that was really how we sort of first came up with the feeders. Was I thought, how can we level the playing field?
Sportsman's Digest is brought to you by Moultrie Feeders. We make the game hunt you.
Using feeders is a year-round system that keeps deer on your property and supplies them with much-needed nutrition.
Feed them like at a schedule of 7 and 4 or 8 and 5.
I thought, you know what, we need to make one. There's a lot of folks that would like this. Let's make one that is reasonably priced, that'll get us in the game.
I'm with my good friend Dan Moultrie. Probably has put out more wildlife feeders than everybody in the world put together.
There's been a lot of animals fed with it.
First 10 I had, a friend of mine said, I'll take all 10. Built another 10, built another 10, built 100, built 100, built 500, built 500, grew it. And even since that time now, we've never had a backwards year. Every year has always been greater than the year before. That's almost 50 years now. That was part of the passion, that we're not going to be, you know, a little bitty company long. This is Tom Coughlin, that was president of Walmart. He was a great friend. Jim Cabela on the end. This is the ranch we had in Texas. We would have like a mini board meeting of everybody. You know, they were growing their business at the time. We were growing our business. And again, nobody thought anything of it. But of all the vendors, the Cabela's guys were by far the best hunters. My dear friend Mike, we got to hunt at the Kennedy Mansion, Captain King and Captain Kennedy that settled that whole South Texas area. And it was just the coolest deal. It was like going back in time 200 or 300 years, because there's nothing on the property. It's exactly the way it was back when they settled it. There was Mike's son. Mike asked me before he passed away, he said, make sure my son at a young age kills a deer with a bow. And that was fulfilling that for him. And that was a great deal to be able to take his son. Well, it was a debt unpaid. You make a promise, it's a promise made, it's a debt unpaid. Once we got into it, we put in, if you have any problem, we gave you a brand new feeder. And I had an old guy in business. We were sitting down and I was telling him our philosophy on it. And he goes, you keep doing that, you'll go broke. And I thought, you know what, I hate to not be respectful to this old fellow, but I'm gonna tell him what he thought. And I said, no, I'm gonna tell you what. If we don't do it, we'll go broke. We're along the river here, and the farm borders a lot of miles of the river here, and all the wildlife that is attributed to it. You know, that is one of the aspects of all the really successful wildlife places we've managed. If you've got water, you've got wildlife. The water is absolutely critical. And I've said this a million times with folks, not only do we have hunting customers, we have a lot of non-consumptive customers There's a lot of folks love looking at those deer every day, turkeys every day, out their back window. Land management, game management, it's that joy of putting into it and becoming that steward of the land.
Fits in there perfect. I'm going to have to put one of those in the back of the truck.
That's pretty good round.
Keep
Pretty
on
good
going.
round. No, you're up. If you're going to be a consumptive fisherman or hunter, you better put in more than you're going to take out. And you better have that sense of responsibility of what it takes and what you're doing when you pull that trigger or pull that bow or whatever you do. If you're on the consumptive side, there's a lot more putting back in than there is taking out. When a lot of these kids come up and want to be mentored, they always ask, hey, I want to start a business or do this and that. My very first deal is pick what's your favorite thing to do. Because if you don't do something you love, you're not going to be good at it. I never worked a day in my life. That's what it felt like. I enjoyed it so much. That wasn't work. Sure, you put in long hours, but everybody had to do that. There was no work to it because you enjoy it. I'm gonna keep doing exactly what I've been doing. Every turkey season we're gonna turkey hunt. Every dove season we're gonna try to dove hunt. I guess you can tell I've enjoyed it this whole 50 years of doing this more than anything could have been imagined. I can't imagine ever doing anything different, and I'm not going to do anything different. I'm going to keep on till the end. I mean, it's as good as it gets.